sorry.
Davanti che no.
You might have to turn the music up a little. Yes, yes. Do you know who he is? I hope they work with him.
From the Miller.
Hey, fans, turn up the volume.
How do you make your people? It's tradition. Lots of it. Oh! She looks like she's Asian.
Hey, Lydia, please, please. Vicky, one piece of chocolate.
I need some special grade.
Let's introduce you. Feel the power. I know you, Mo. I know you. You're just studying here.
Last night, I mean, this girl, Julieta.
What? I know what else. Woman's voice.
She really drove me crazy.
I know you have it. Please be waiting.
Waitress, more ale. Ale. You took my place. I know. Oh, hey. I'm trying so. That's just it's like super overkill. It's like super fast. Yeah, look at it. I mean, I like your dress. I want a pizza too.
You're so wasted. See you afternoon.
Cheers!
Martin! Why isn't there a gum at all? Where's my labradoodle?
Labradoodle! The last time you saw was quite a nice fella.
Yeah.
pilgrimage back to London together with you.
Tonight, our company is enriched by, on behalf of the Upper Austrian Governor, Member of Parliament, School Inspector, Notbürgeraustleitner and her husband.
School Inspector, Hofrat, Magister Franz Kappelmüller.
Former President of the Upper Austrian Education Board, Dr. Johannes Riedl.
Head of Bundesoberstufen-Realgymnasium Perg, Frau Direktor, Magister Lucia Schneider.
Head of Bundesgymnasium Steyr-Werndelpark, Director Magister Klaus Bachler and his wife.
Several members of the school board and our parents' association.
Last but not least, our head, Director Magister Josef Ratzenböck and his wife.
And remember, we're in the 14th century. Mobile phones aren't invited yet.
We gather together again on the eve of our return journey to London from Canterbury. Unless you're too full of prayer or ill, you should all know me by now. Harry Bailey is the name, host of the Tabard Inn in Southwark. It was there we started our pilgrimage this year, and there we will end it.
Hey, Harry, who is the lovely wench by your side? Did the Lord answer your prayers and send you a nice piece of totte?
Really, sir, we have been in a holy pilgrimage. Such profanity is most inappropriate.
I fear at this moment this pilgrim is fuller with ale than holy matters.
Quite right, lady. I praise the Lord, now I drink to him.
This lady is my wife, Mary. She has been visiting an aunt here in Canterbury and will be returning with us to London. My prayers were indeed answered when we were married many years ago.
No offense, Harry. She's a fine-looking filly.
Harry, pilgrims, I've just noticed the celebrated Geoffrey Chaucer is with her company.
I told you, my dear, Mr. Chaucer has honored us with his presence on our pilgrimage this year. And so, sir, you will journey with us from Canterbury. Splendid! Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished author and Member of Parliament, Mr. Geoffrey Chaucer. Welcome, sir.
Harry, what about the tales?
Ah, yes, the tales.
At the start of our pilgrimage, you said free food and drink for the best tale-teller when we returned to your inn. Some of us told tales on our way to Canterbury. Now, what about the return journey? Will the tale-telling continue?
Friend merchant, you beat me to it. I was just going to mention about the tales. My offer still stands. Fellow pilgrims, it's up to you. We heard some wonderful tales during our time together on this pilgrimage. If you agree that we should resume the tales on this, our journey from Canterbury to London, say aye.
Aye!
Those against, say nay.
Nay!
The ayes have it!
I don't believe it. I just don't bloody believe it. You people are supposed to be religious. This is a holy pilgrimage. must I remind you of what St. Paul wrote in his epistle to Timothy. Punished they shall be, those who turn away from the truth, take tales and trash like that.
It's the likes of you who are trash. Tales enrich the soul.
What do you know about the soul? Pardoner, you don't have one. The way you enrich yourself is by thinking of those who are stupid enough to be taken by you, saying that you will pardon sins for money. Relics, madame, estupidas!
Money is the root of all evil. I know. Quote your Latin and your St. Paul, but it doesn't bring you closer to God. Pilgrims, God has chosen me to be the keeper of some of his holy relics. I offer them to you, to touch them, to hold them, and as you do so, to feel the power of the Lord flow through you. As the caretaker of these blessed objects, God then empowers me to pardon your sins. But even God's ministers have to live. Therefore, the Lord allows me some sort of earthly compensation. 1 crown, pilgrims, is all I ask. 1 crown, and I'll let you hold the likes of this.
And what, pray, is that?
Oh, brother, this is a piece of the sail from the boat belonging to St. Peter, when he tried to walk on the waves, and our Lord Jesus caught hold of him.
Then, if it's so holy, why is it not in the possession of the church?
Exactly, sister. Sail belonging to St. Peter. What out of Canada?
You mind your tongue.
And you mind that I don't take this piece of tat you call holy, which was more likely torn from a battle's net, and ram it down your unholy throat, you fake!
You infidel!
Pilgrims, peace! Remember, we are still in Canterbury, no more than a stone's throw away from the sacred place that we've made this journey to pray at, the tomb of the blessed martyr, St. Thomas a Becket.
Thank you, sister. Unfortunately, some of us need to be reminded of that. Apropos St. Thomas, there is something a few of our fellow pilgrims have prepared and would like to present to the rest of us.
Yes, let us introduce you to... Sorry, pilgrim, I've forgotten your trait.
I'm a cook, and this is my assistant.
Pleased to meet you. Are your players ready?
Indeed, they are.
So tell us, what are you going to present?
Well, we have devised a short play about St. Thomas a Becket and the king. It's called Thomas and Henry.
Most appropriate. Ladies and gentlemen, let us give our players some space. Friend cook, please prepare your playing area.
Prepared. We are ready to begin.
Then, ladies and gentlemen, let us now be entertained with Thomas and Henry.
The year is 1161. Henry II is King of England. Ladies and gentlemen, His Royal Majesty, Henry II! His Majesty, Henry II, King of England!
Oops.
His Majesty, Henry II, King of England.
What's the matter? Oh, dear.
Jenny! Jenny!
It's my father.
But I thought you said that he would be away for hours.
He has come back early.
Jenny, open the door!
Oh, no. When he sees us, he will kill us.
But I'm the king.
we going to do?
Thomas!
Your Majesty.
How did you get in here?
Through the same way as you are going out. The window.
But we are one floor up.
I've secured the horses together, stood on one and climbed up. Now, all we have to do is to jump down on them and ride away.
Jenny, open this door at once.
Come on, Your Majesty, we've no time to lose.
Thank you, my dear.
Ever willing to please your majesty.
And you did, my dear. Indeed, you did.
Just give us time enough to ride away. Then let your father in. Adieu.
Adieu, sweet Jenny.
Adieu, your majesty. Coming, father.
And so, the king's fate was saved by his friend, Thomas. But just exactly who was this friend? Well, none other than the Chancellor of England, Thomas Becket. King Henry had appointed him to the position in 1155.
Previously, he'd been working for the Archbishop of Canterbury, who Henry did not like.
Thomas Becket, from his side being Henry's most loyal and trustworthy servant, always became his greatest friend.
It was rumored King Henry had concluded that Thomas Becket was the most intelligent man in all England.
Now, back to a field somewhere in England.
Oh, Thomas, you're my dear friend and savior.
Well, I went off for a little ride when I left you at the girl's house. It was then that I saw the father coming back. I knew there'd be trouble, so I rode back as fast as I could.
What would I do without you, Thomas? I thank God for the day we met. You were quite a tear away, my friend.
Were, Your Majesty?
Still are then, but I can drink you under the table any day. That said, you are an upright man, Thomas. The noblest man in my kingdom. My God, have you any idea how much trouble I took to make you noble?
I think so. I remember that you pointed the finger at me and said, Thomas Becket, you are noble. The Queen and your mother were not amused.
Well, the devil can take them. Both.
My king, really?
My dear Thomas, I have never hidden from you the feelings I have for either my mother or my wife. My mother, the Lady Matilda, is an interfering old cow. The only good thing to have ever come out of her is, quite frankly, me. and as for my wife, the darling Lady Eleanor, well, I had to have her, literally out of duty, not love.
Wee-haw! Pardon me, Your Majesty. Your groom told me you were riding in this area. Your royal presence is required back at court immediately. The Archbishop of Canterbury has died.
God rest his soul.
Oh, he will, he will. And he will be much more used to God than ever he was to me. Now, right back to court and inform whoever that I'm on my way back.
Yes, Your Majesty.
Now those stand bishops will be climbing over one another to be appointed the new archbishop.
Well, the power of the clergy has been increasing over the years.
Yes, I'm well aware of that. I fear that the power might one day rival that of my own.
Indeed, my king, that could well be the case.
And that must never be the case. But what can I do to prevent it? Oh, Thomas! Thomas! An extraordinary idea has come into my head. I suddenly feel very intelligent. That probably comes from making love to that sweet girl Jenny just now.
What is it, my king?
We need a new Archbishop of Canterbury, and I think I know the very man.
Be careful who you choose, my king. Once in Canterbury, he will no longer be on your side. He will be on the side of God.
But Thomas, what if the Archbishop is my man, and Canterbury is for the king?
Is there such a man, Your Majesty?
Yes, Thomas, there is.
You. Oh no! My king! Please, no!
Thomas Becket, not only are you my friend, but you're the most honorable man I know.
But this honor you want to give to me might be too heavy to bear. I'm frightened, my king. Please, I beg of you, don't do this.
You have never disappointed me, Thomas. You're the only man I trust.
Please, my king.
No more words, Thomas! Not only does the king wish you to be the new Archbishop of Canterbury, but he decrees it. Now, let us ride back to court. I can't wait to see the bishops' faces when I tell them the news. Come on.
Deus, in adjutorium, meum intende.
A few months later, in 1162, Thomas Becket was ordained as Archbishop of Canterbury.
If King Henry believed that by having his man at the top post of the church, he could easily impose his will on this powerful religious institution, he was sadly mistaken. Becket's allegiance soon shifted away from the king.
He defended church law and the right for religious wrongdoers to be tried by the church's canon law, something King Henry was strongly opposed to. To the king, the law of the land was just that. Secular courts must apply to the church as well.
Thomas fought Henry at every turn. Their friendship soured as their arguments over the church powers grew increasingly heated. In 1164, realizing the extent of the king's displeasure, Thomas went into exile in France.
Back in England, Henry agonized over what had become of his friendship with Thomas. He found no comfort from his wife or his mother.
My son, I understand your feelings for Becket.
No, you don't, Mother! You could never understand how I feel for that man. He was my dearest friend. I loved him.
Love? Love? Obsession, more like. An obsession that is unhealthy and unnatural. Put him out of your mind. Leave him to rot in exile. My God, if I were a man!
Thank God, Mother, he gave you breasts. An asset from which I derived not the slightest benefit. I was born to be suckled by a peasant girl.
That is why it is so difficult to see the king beneath your crown.
Oh, so you have something to add, my lady. Then, let's hear it. Spit out your poison.
I tolerated your mistresses, but don't expect me to tolerate everything. Becket, always Becket. You went to the whorehouses together. He lured you away from the duties you owe me.
Dear wife, in matters of decadence, it was I who lured him. I didn't need anyone to lure me away from the duties I owe you. I gave you children and England an heir. Thank God my duty's done.
Henry!
Thomas may be my enemy now, but he gave me everything that isn't all good in me. What have either of you ever given me?
I'm your wife. I gave you my body. I gave you your children.
I don't like my children. And as for your body, madam, your body was a desert that duty forced me to wander in, alone. But you have never been a wife to me. Now, leave me, both of you. Oh, Thomas! Thomas! What am I to do with you?
Before Thomas and Henry were to meet again. Then it was in France. It was November 1170. For the friends who were once so close, this was a very uneasy meeting.
You look well, my king.
So do you, Thomas.
Are you well, my lord?
I'm bored, Thomas. I miss you. I miss my friend. What happened to us?
Our spirits were free. We soared above the rest. What happened to change it all?
You introduced me to deeper obligations.
Come back, Thomas. I ask you to come back to England.
Thank you, my king.
Then we can be friends once more.
I don't think...
You don't think what? I thought you would jump at a chance to return to England. What are you waiting for?
For the honor of God and the honor of the king to become one.
That may take a long time.
A long time, yes.
I am the king, Thomas. And so long as I'm on this earth, you owe allegiance to me first. I'm prepared to forget a lot of things for the sake of our friendship, but not the fact that I am the king. You taught me that responsibility.
I know, but we have different tasks now, you and me. Yours is to be king and do your duty for your country.
And yours?
Mine is to do my duty to God. We are both aware of the delicacy of our positions. Let us hope that God will find a solution for it.
I loved you, Thomas.
I know, my king, and I loved you.
Then where's the problem?
You cannot forgive me for loving God better than you. I will return to England. However, I fear that this is the last time we will meet.
What do you mean? I will give you safe passage back to England. Don't you take my word?
I do trust you, my king. May God be with you.
Thomas!
Thomas returned to England. Not long after, he asserted himself yet again in his stance that canon law and judicial law should be separate. News of this soon reached Henry's ears in France.
One night, a month later, King Henry was drinking heavily with some of his knights.
It's funny. It's too funny. Becket is the only intelligent man in my kingdom, and he's against me. Me, the king.
Your Majesty, this man is a fool, an idiot, dirt beneath your royal feet.
Hold your tongue. I've confided to you my hate for him, not my love. Don't ever insult him to my face.
Pardon, Your Majesty.
He's been an amazing man, you know. He's drunk and womanized to his way through London, but now God has made him honorable, so honorable that he dares to stand against his king. How did the people greet him?
The peasants love him. They cheered his way back to Canterbury. He left England a fugitive and exile. Now he's returned a champion.
He's found an affection in the common people that has always been safe for their king.
Oh God, I loved him. I still do. But I can do nothing so long as he's alive. I tremble. I am the king, and yet I shake. He mocks me, and against him, I'm as useless as a woman. What cowards have I in my court that care nothing for the allegiance to the king? Will no one rid me of this meddlesome priest?
The king's outrage inspired the 4 knights to sail to England the next day. They then made their way to Canterbury. On the afternoon of December the 29th, they entered Canterbury Cathedral. They murdered Thomas Becket.
When King Henry heard the news, he was completely distraught. He maintained that the words he'd spoken to his knights were misinterpreted. The knights were not punished, but fell into disgrace.
Several miracles were said to have occurred at the tomb of Thomas Becket. In 1773, he was made a saint by the Pope. And to this day, we still make pilgrimages to pay homage to and pray at the martyr's final resting place.
An excellent story.
I have to admit, there were things in this story I had no idea about.
They did paint Thomas as quite decadent before he became Archbishop, though.
Well, sister, he was only human. The ways of the flesh can tempt all men, even the most pious. No offense, brother priest.
None taken. It's all a matter of priority and control, friend Miller.
Brother, I know that you don't do, well, how shall I say this delicately? Put it this way. We all like a little bit of this, and a little bit of that, and a little bit of the other, and you don't do the other. But do you ever do a little bit of this?
The good Lord gave us the grapes from which we get wine. I do not shy away from enjoying God's nectar, occasionally. In moderation, of course.
Indeed, some of the best wines are produced by monasteries.
Quite right. And beer. Let us not forget beer. Brother, you are a fine fellow. I like you.
You are drunk, sir.
Quite right, sister. And what's more, I was drunk last night.
And drunk the night before. Gonna get drunk tonight like I've never been drunk before. I like you, I know that you like me. For when we're together, we're in perfect harmony. Sing glorious, sing glorious. One barrel of beer for just the four of us. And glory be to God that there's no more of us. For one of us could drink it all alone. Pissed last night and pissed the night before. Gonna get pissed tonight like we've never been pissed before. We're good friends, as happy as can be. Bonded for life in a gleeful company. Sing glorious, sing glorious. One barrel of beer for just the four of us. And glory be to God that there's no more of us. For one of us could drink it all alone. Sing glorious, sing glorious. One barrel of beer for just the four of us. And glory be to God that there's no more of us. For one of us could drink it all alone.
Gentle host, I am Marie, a lab manager for a wealthy lord. In fact, I am on this pilgrimage with some of my workers. And with their help, there is a tale I would like to tell.
Then, friend Reef, let's hear it.
I hope it's a funny tale. The two chaps in the last tale were a bit serious.
Well, Pilgrim Miller, my tale is indeed witty and also concerns two friends, and a miller.
And a miller? I like this tale before I've even heard it.
Well, I will just check with our friends to see if they're ready enough to help me present my tale.
Friends, let us give our tale teller some room.
Are your helpers prepared?
Yes, indeed, and we are ready to start.
Then, pilgrims, we give you the Reef's tale.
Not far from Cambridge lived a miller. Simpkin was his name. He was not a particularly honest man. He liked to steal from anyone who brought him grain to grind in his mill. He would always take off a decent portion and keep it for himself. He had a wife called Fanny, and they had a daughter called Molly. They also had a baby who was only a few months old. One of Simpkin's best customers was the warden of a college at Cambridge. The warden was getting suspicious about Simpkin, and one day called 2 students to her office.
Come in! Ah, Ellen and John.
You wanted to see us, Warden?
Yes, I have a little job I wanted 2 of you to do for me. Do you know the miller, Simpkin?
Yes. We've met him a couple of times. And his lovely daughter, Molly.
He has a bit of a reputation. Dishonest, tricky, and sometimes aggressive.
You described him perfectly.
He's also very protective of Molly.
So I've heard. Now, boys, I've used him for quite some time to grind my grain. However, I'm disappointed with what is returned to me. I have the feeling that Simpkin is creaming some of my grain off for himself. Now, old Jonesy, who usually takes my grain to Simpkin, is ill. Therefore, I'm taking the opportunity to send you 2. You are clever boys. I want you to watch Simpkin closely. Don't let him out of your sight. I don't want that swindler to steal 1 more ounce of my grain. Do you understand?
Yes. But, Warden, how will we get there? We haven't got a horse.
You can take my best stallion, Dobbin. He is strong and can carry both of you and the grain. So, here's money for the milling. Now, off you go. Good luck. And see that you come back with my right share of flour.
Trust us. Goodbye, Warden.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, boys.
And so, Alan and John collected the warden's grain and his best horse and rode off to Simpkin's mill.
Side step. Counter. Trot. Walk.
Stop! Piss off! Hello, Simpkin!
Good day, Alan and John. Good to see you.
Good day, Simpkin.
Hello, boys.
Good day, Mrs.
Hello, Ellen. Hello, John.
Hello, Molly.
What brings you to my mill?
We're helping the warden. Old Jonesy is very ill and cannot do his job. So we have come with the grain for you to mill to flour.
I'll grind your grain, but what will you do while I'm doing so?
I will stand by you as you grind. I'm very interested to watch that process. I have never seen it done before.
Me neither. I will watch too.
But it's tedious work. You will get bored.
Hey, Simpkin. We are students. We are used to sitting through boring lectures.
Yeah, nothing can be more tedious than studying. I'm sure there's an art to what you do. It will be more interesting watching you than any lesson back at college.
I am not so sure about that. Well, one of you, tie up your horse just over there in the barn. The other, give me the grain. Take those up to the mill, John. I'll be right with you.
Right.
Silly fools. They think they can catch me out. I will trick them yet. The most learned college boy is not necessarily the wisest. Fanny?
My husband?
When I take Alan to the mill, go to the barn, untie the horse and let it go. After about half an hour or so, start shouting that you've seen the horse running away. Molly?
Yes, Father?
Start up the bread oven. Not only will I be helping myself to the boys' flour, but I want you to take some of it and bake it into bread for me to take to the market tomorrow.
But...
No buts, girl! Just do as I say.
Yes, Father.
Alan, let's go to the mill.
Sounds like there's a storm brewing.
Best be getting inside then. Come along.
faithful wife, Fanny, did as she was told and let loose Dobbin the horse. Molly stoked the oven. Meanwhile, Alan and John, unaware that Dobbin was free, watched Simpkin the miller closely to see that he didn't cheat them. Half an hour passed.
Alan! John! Come quickly! Your horse is loose! Alan! John! I've just come from the barn. Your horse is gone. It must have escaped.
Oh my god!
It must not have been tied up strong enough.
Alan, you idiot!
I tied the rope tightly.
Maybe he was frightened by the thunder. Horses can have great strength when stressed. So I've heard.
We must go and catch it, or the warden will kill us.
Which way do you think he might go?
Well, there are many open fields around here. Best go up that hill first. Maybe you can see him from there.
Come on, John.
Well done, Fanny. They'll be gone for quite some time. I'll finish off the milling. Send Molly up for the flour.
The two boys saw Dobbin from the hill and chased after him. Dobbin enjoyed his freedom and the rain. As soon as Alan and John got close to him, he galloped away. To him, it was a great game. The boys were not amused, as they got wetter and wetter. Hours passed before Dobbin allowed himself to be caught. The two boys then returned to the mill.
We're about to have some visitors, my dears. Just see them through the window. Enter!
Simpkin, we finally caught the horse. They've tied him securely in your barn.
It's too late to go back to Cambridge. Can we have a shelter and something to eat and drink?
You can have it. If you pay.
Here's all our money. Now may we stay?
Yes, but my house is small. We will have to rearrange the house to fit the two of you.
And get out of those wet clothes. Molly, get a couple of towels.
Yes, Father.
Fanny, some ale for these lads.
Yes, my dear.
Thank you, Simpkin. You're a kind man.
Don't mention it, boys. It's the least I can do. I'm glad you caught up with your horse. That's the main thing.
It's the warden's best horse. We couldn't have come back to Cambridge without him.
Oh dear.
Don't be coy, Molly. You've seen me in my smalls before. There you are, lads.
Thank you.
Here you are, boys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
A toast. Here's to those that wish us well, and those who don't can go to hell.
Here's to those that wish us well, and those who don't can go to hell.
Well, boys, your grain is all ground.
Thank you.
Cheer up, lads. You've had a bit of an adventure. Something to tell your mates about when you go back to college.
No way. I think we'll keep this to ourselves.
Yeah, if the warden ever got word that we nearly lost his best horse, that'd be hell to pay.
Ah, well, everyone is safe now. Summer ale, Fanny.
Yes, my dear.
Let's sing a song. Alan, John, I bet you know some good ones.
Of course, but probably more suitable for a pub than a dinner table.
No need to stand on ceremony here, boys. We use a song and a drink after all the milling is done.
Yes, lads. Have another good swig of ale and forget about today's troubles. You've been roving all over the countryside for your horse. I know just the song. The Wild Rover.
Okay, let's do it.
I've been a wild rover for many a year, and I spent all me money on whiskey and beer. And now I'm returning with gold in great store. And I never will play the wild rover no more.
And it's no, nay, never. No, nay, never, no more. Will I play the wild rover? No, never, no more. I went to an alehouse I used to frequent, and I told the landlady my money was spent.
I asked her for credit, she answered me nay. Such a custom as yours I could have any day.
And it's no, nay, never. No, nay, never, no more. Will I play the wild rover? No, never, no more.
I took from my pocket 10 sovereign Sprite, and the landlady's eyes opened wide with delight. She said, I have whiskey and wines of the best, and the words that I spoke sure were only in jest.
And it's no, nay, never. No, nay, never, no more. Will I play the wild rover? No, never, no more. I'll go home to my parents, confess what I've done.
And I asked them to pardon their prodigal son.
And if they caress me as oft times before, sure I never will play the wild rover no more. And it's no, nay, never. No, nay, never, no more. Will I play the wild rover? No, never, no more.
One more time.
And it's no, nay, never. No, nay, never, no more. Will I play the wild rover? No, never, no more. Hey!
The family and the boys ate and drank until midnight. Then it was bedtime. The bedroom was set up with 3 beds. One for the miller and his wife, another one for the 2 boys, and one for Molly. At the base of the miller's bed was set the cradle of the baby.
Good night, Simkin.
Good night, boys.
Good night, Mrs.
Night, boys.
Good night, Molly.
All slept, except for Ellen and John. Simpkins snored loudly.
I can't sleep. This sound is horrible. I know what I'm going to do. To get back at the double-crossing Miller, I will sleep with his daughter. She's a cute thing. And after all, my learned friend, the law says, if a man is ill-treated, in our case cheated, in one way, he is to be relieved in another.
But, Alan, the miller is a dangerous man. Should he wake, he'll kill us both.
He can go to hell. Have a good night, my friend.
Ellen!
Shh, Molly, my love.
Oh! Ellen! Oh!
This isn't fair. We were both cheated, but only Alan is getting relief.
Oh.
I'm bursting for a piss. Damn cradle. Can't see the bloody thing in the dark.
I've got an idea. John, my lad, time to get some relief.
at that for so long. Oh, I've forgotten how passionate you could be. Oh, Simpkin. Oh.
And so, for most of the remainder of the night, much relief was had by Alan and Molly and John and Fanny. A new day dawned.
Molly, my sweet, it is now almost day, and I must leave. But forever, I'll be yours.
Ellen, go now and fare you well. But before you go, I must tell you. My father, he stole some of your flour, and he made me bake it into bread. You'll find it by the door. He was going to sell it at market today. Take it and the flour to your warden. Goodbye, my love. And mind the cradle when you go back to bed.
I will, my love. Thank you. Still so dark. But I haven't bumped the cradle, so this must be John's in my bed. John, wake up! I have, this short night, made passionate love to Simpkin's daughter.
You what? You bastard! I'm going to kill you!
Help! The devil is upon us!
Ellen, we must get out of here!
Help me, John! Simpkin's strong!
I save you, my husband!
Goodbye,
Ellen!
Goodbye, Molly, dearest!
Let's get out of here!
Alan and John picked up the money pouch from the table, grabbed the bread and the flour, and made their way to Cambridge and Dobbin. Now, they would have a story to proudly tell their classmates. And as for Simpkin, he was done out of his money, his milling, and tricked over his wife and daughter. As the saying goes, do as you would be done by.
It was just a story.
Well, I'm a nice miller. An honest miller. And you? You are pretty. I like you.
And you are very drunk.
Harry, Mary, pilgrims, my son Robin and I would like to tell a tale.
We would be honored to hear it, friend knight.
And have you any willing friends to help you present your tale?
Indeed I have, dear lady.
Then let's give the knight and Robin some space.
I may be drunk, but I can still appreciate the beautiful woman. Lucky sod.
Off you go, my friend.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Knight's Tale.
Let us take you back to ancient Athens. Duke Theseus has returned from a long campaign. With him is his new bride, the queen he won in battle, Hippolyta. By her side is her sister, Emily.
People of Athens, we welcome home our victorious Duke, safely back from his bloody campaign. Athens also welcome his beautiful new queen and her sister.
Most gracious Duke, hear us!
Great Theseus, help us!
Have pity on us! We beg for mercy, great Duke!
Who are you?
We are sorrowful widows.
Our husbands are attacking the evil King Creon of Thebes.
Their bodies lie where they fell, rotting, to be eaten by dogs.
I hear your cries. I feel your pain. By my honor, I will have my revenge on this tyrant Creon.
We thank your lordship from the bottom of our hearts.
We are forever in your debt, great Duke. You will be remembered in our prayers.
Go now, gentle widows. By my word, you will give your dead husbands proper burial. Harold,
Noble Duke,
go quickly to my generals. Inform them that we will march to Thebes immediately. I will be with them straight away.
I shall, my Duke.
Theseus, my love.
Hippolyta, my dearest queen. Honor forces me to cut short our celebrations. People of Athens, your Duke thanks you for your welcome. However, when they are suffering, the like of which you have just heard, I will do everything in my power to suppress it. I will return once more after I have crushed the evil that is King Creon.
And so, Theseus and his army marched directly to Thebes. Arriving outside the city walls, Theseus loudly challenged Creon to battle.
A bloody encounter followed, during which the evil King Creon was killed.
That night, the victorious Athenian army lay encamped on the edge of the battlefield.
So now, gentle widows, justice has been served, and your man can rest in peace.
Pardon, my Duke, we found these two alive on the battlefield.
They claim to be cousins from the Theban royal house.
Who are you?
My name is Palamon.
And I'm Archete.
What shall we do with them, my lord?
Take them to Athens at once. Well, Palamon and Archete, you are now prisoners of Duke Theseus. Soldiers, see that they are locked away in the high tower of my palace. There they shall remain for life. See to it!
We shall, noble lord.
And so they were. And so they lived for several years, locked up in a stone tower with no hope of escape.
How long has it been now, cousin?
I have lost track of time, but thank God we've been together. Can you imagine what it would have been like in here alone?
It does bear thinking about. We always swore that we would stick together until death.
Until death.
At least we're not in a dungeon. We do have a view, even if it's just a small window. We can look out and see. Oh my God!
Palamon, what is it? Are you alright?
Oh cousin, I've been wounded, struck by Cupid's arrow. There's a divine creature, a goddess walking below in the garden. Venus, goddess of love, please free us.
What a beauty. I must win her. I'd rather die than lose her.
What are you saying, Archete? Surely you're joking? We're like brothers, you traitor. How dare you love the same lady as I?
I loved her first. As a woman, you thought she was a goddess. My love is real. Anyway, all is fair in love and war.
I can't believe what I'm hearing. Nevertheless, what can either of us do stuck in this prison?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. We will just have to live and cope with our unrequited love for this lady, whatever we think of her.
The two cousins now tolerated each other, fighting over the window view with the hope of seeing Emily again. Then, one day, Duke Theseus had a visit from an old friend.
Pirothius, my dear old friend, I can't tell you
How happy I am to see you again after so many years.
It has been a long time, Theseus. I don't think we've met since your battle against Priam. He was an evil creature. Thebes is well rid of him. I do have a favor to ask of you, my friend.
Yes?
It's about one of the prisoners in your tower, the one called Archite.
What about him?
I have known him since he was a boy. He's not a bad young man. Theseus, I beg of you, please release him from prison.
Because I've always valued you as trusted friend, I will grant your request.
Thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Only on one condition.
What is that?
That on the pain of death, he never sets foot upon Athenian land ever again.
I shall impress that upon him. Thank you again.
Come now, let's have a drink.
You! Come.
One might have expected Archite to jump for joy at his release. However, he despaired at not being able to see Emily ever again, whereas Palamon could view her every day.
And Palamon, alone in the tower, thought how lucky Archite was. He was free to plan how to make contact with the beautiful Emily, while he, Palamon, was locked away and could do nothing.
After 2 years, Archite, still hopelessly in love with Emily, decided to defy Theseus' ban and planned a return to Athens. He disguised himself as a peasant worker and got a job in the palace. Because he worked hard, he was very popular at court. He did see Emily, but he had to worship her from afar.
Meanwhile, Palamon was plotting his own escape. The soldiers had taken pity on him and started to bring him wine. Unbeknown to the soldiers, he had found a small, venomous plant growing in his cell. He crushed some of the leaves into what was almost a powder, and dropped the powder into the wine. That night, he asked the soldiers to have a drink with him, as it was his birthday. They toasted. The soldiers drank, but not Palamon. He pretended. The poison took almost immediate effect. The soldiers started to grow dizzy. Palamon overpowered them and made his escape.
He managed to make his way undetected out of the palace. But tiredness soon overcame him in a nearby wood. Knowing he was safely away from the palace, for the time being, he lay down and fell asleep. A new day dawned in Athens. Full of the joys of spring, Archite was up early to pick some flowers to adorn the palace where Emily sat at table.
Oh, Emily. Dearest Emily. If only you knew how much the person who put these flowers on your table loves you. Archite is my name, and I am not a lowly servant in your palace, but of royal
Archite, you
blood.
traitor! My cousin, my brother, thief of my love, I kill you!
Love is free, foolish cousin. I don't know how you got your Palamon, but you sure as hell will not leave alive.
Stop! I commanded to stop! Soldiers, part them!
This is he, my lord, the escaped prisoner Palamon. He was the one who dragged us last night.
This is a servant from your kitchen, my lord.
What is your name?
I am Archite, who you banished from Athens.
You were not to set foot in Athens or you would be put to death!
My lord, we would both of us happily go to our deaths. We both burn with love for your sister-in-law Emily. For her, we're both prepared to die.
I have heard your confession, and, as he suggests, you shall die!
No! Have mercy, Theseus. Remember, you too were once stung by the arrows of love. These are not two commoners, but of royal blood. But they are slaves to love.
Look at the two of you. You've given up your chance of freedom, all for a woman who doesn't even know that you exist. Even so, Emily cannot marry you both. But I will say this, you certainly are honorable.
For
what is to be done?
You will come back to the palace with us. Tomorrow, you will fight like noblemen. To the winner, I will give Emily's hand in marriage. Come now, away.
Duke Theseus immediately put plans into motion for a jousting tournament between the two cousins the next day. The night passed slowly. The next morning, Emily was up at dawn. She made her way to the temple of Diana.
Oh, fair goddess, you know, I'd rather roam free forever than be a wife. If you can, make it so there's peace between Palamon and Arcite.
It has already been decided that you will marry one of them. But which it will be, I cannot tell you. Go now and be strong.
If I've one last prayer, then let it be the one that desires me most.
Palamon was also up early. He chose to say his prayers at the temple of Venus.
Venus, goddess of love, take pity on me. I don't ask for honor or glory. All I desire is for you to give me Emily, so that she's mine, and mine alone. But if you decide Arcite should have her, let me down his lands.
I have heard your prayer, Palamon, and it will be answered.
Does it mean that it will be granted, O divine one?
Seek to know no more. Go now.
In the temple of Mars, Arcite prayed to the strong god of war.
Noble Mars, I am torn apart by love, more than any living creature ever was. Bring me victory. That's the only hope I shall ever have of winning Emily. Victory is it? You dare to hope for victory? How do you answer my prayer, warrior of the skies?
Continue to hope. Victory might well smile upon you. Now go, quickly.
Palamon will win.
Not if I have anything to do with it. Why, Saturn? What brings you here?
Someone has to decide who wins this day. Petty arguing won't do it. Mine is the widest orbit around the sun, and my power is greater than either of yours. I decree that Palamon wins this lady. Venus, that I promise. Mars, you will help your men. But the outcome of today has been decided.
And so came the hour of the tournament. Word had spread throughout Athens about the joust of honor that was to take place. Everybody waited in expectation to see what the outcome would be. Duke Theseus, Queen Hippolyta, and Emily took their place on the podium.
Silence! I kill you!
The two cousins mounted their horses and entered the arena.
One hit will decide the outcome of this fight. The winner gets Emily's hand in marriage. May the best man win. Hippolyta, your handkerchief.
it! Emily is mine!
I am disgraced beyond belief. Saturn, you said.
Hush, daughter. Mars may have had his way, as his knight has been granted his wish. Victory. However, you too will be satisfied.
Architect! Are you all right?
My head. Everything grows dim, my brother. I fear I'm mortally wounded. I'm dying.
Architect!
Where is Emily?
I'm here.
Emily, queen of my heart, take my hand. My life was worth this one moment. Your hand in mine. Now I can die happy. And Palamon, my cousin, my brother, my rival in love, take Emily and love her for us both. Emily, no man is worthy of your love in return.
Out of great sadness, let us bring true happiness. Take pity on noble Palamon, Emily.
Sister, take Palamon willingly for your husband.
He's a fine young man. From two sorrows, we'll now have one perfect joy.
Palamon and Emily were married soon afterwards.
And knew much happiness for the rest of their lives. A truly excellent tale.
I like that story.
Pilgrims, it's getting late. Perhaps we time enough for one last quick tale.
Well, I have one. It's about a little bit of this, and a little bit of that, and a little bit of the other. The end of the world, and a red hot poker up the ass.
Well, really?
I don't think so, Frank Miller.
You see, pilgrims, how the devil tempts souls with the evil that is drink. How he reduces people to this. Shameful behavior. Truly shameful. But I could help you. Turn away from the demon drink. I have here a piece of the spear that pierced the flesh of our Lord Jesus Christ while he was on the cross. Hold this with just one crown. And Pilgrim Miller, I will pardon you of all your sins.
This is truly sacrilegious.
If I had a red hot poker, pardoner, I'd shove it up your ass.
I like that.
This is getting out of hand.
May God forgive you.
Oh, go to the devil.
And you can rot in hell.
Do I know you?
I don't think so.
But I like you. Shall we have a drink?
Oh, why the hell not?
I've never come across the likes of them before on any of the pilgrimages I've been on.
I have a short tale, a sort of entertainment I would like to tell you all.
We have found some helpers too, who are not afraid of
How shall I put this? Not afraid of having some silly fun.
It's a little story that I wrote for younger people, but it can be enjoyed by all ages.
Then let us hear it.
Are you ready to tell it?
Yes, I think so.
Then let us clear the playing area and hear the nun's priest's tale.
Once upon a time, there was an old widow who lived in a cottage on a small farm. She had 3 cows, 3 pigs, and 1 sheep.
But of all her animals, the widow was the proudest of her 3 hens.
And the cock of the roost, Chanticleer. Oh, Chanticleer, I do like a fine-looking cock.
What was that?
I don't exactly know.
You have the reputation of having the finest voice in this area.
I know.
Then what was that all about?
I'm stressed.
Stressed? Over what?
I had a terrible nightmare last night. I dreamt I was in the yard when a fearful beast crept up behind me. It was like a large dog, a dreadful monster. I almost died of fright.
Shame on you, coward. Bad dreams are nothing more than a symptom of indigestion. I'll put together a herbal potion that will bring you back to your old self again.
You might be right, Bertolotti. However, it is well known that dreams can have great meaning.
What nonsense!
No, it's not nonsense. Dreams can be warnings of things that might actually happen.
Superstitious cow dung.
Moo!
Enough of that. I'll get you that potion.
Oh, well, perhaps she might be right. Large dog. There hasn't been a dog on this farm, well, ever. Put the silly dream out of your mind, Chanticleer. And let's give my morning call.
Hello. Don't be afraid. I'm one of your greatest admirers. It is widely known that you have a magnificent voice. I came here to have the pleasure of just hearing you call.
Really?
Yes, indeed. We foxes have a good ear for music, and to hear Chanticleer, the cruiser of the cocks, well, that would truly be a privilege.
Oh, you flatter me.
Not at all. I'm in total admiration of you.
Well, I must prepare. First, I must clear my throat.
Fine looking throat, if I may say.
Oh, thank you. Then, I must stick up my neck.
Oh, yes!
And now hear me cry!
A fox has got chanting here. They've gone in that direction. Help! Help! A fox has got chanting
Mr. Fox. Why do you let these common farm creatures chase you? I thought the foxes were proud. Why don't you tell them to give up? We've reached the wood. They can't catch you in there. Tell them to piss off and let you enjoy eating me in peace. Come on, Mr. Fox. You're strong. Or maybe not. Maybe foxes are not as strong as they are made out to be.
Oh, shut up! Oh. Oh. Oh, come down out of the tree, Chanticleer.
Not bloody likely.
I didn't mean you any harm. Please come down, so I can explain to you, face to face. You're such a handsome cock. I wouldn't hurt you.
Come down. No way. I'm not such a fool to be tricked twice. Your flattery won't work on me a second time. I've learned my lesson, Mr. Fox, and now piss off!
But you! Oh, bugger it.
How are you?
I'm fine.
Where's the fox?
I outfoxed the fox. We won't be seeing him again.
Oh, you're my fine cock.
So, let's hear you crow.
And that's it, pilgrims. We'll be in the outskirts of London tomorrow.
Yes, and peace at last from all the bloody tale-telling.
I like the stories. They weren't so bad.
So Harry, have you decided which tale was the best?
I've been giving this a lot of thought. We've heard some wonderful tales during our time together on this pilgrimage. Don't you agree, Mr. Chaucer?
If this becomes a regular occurrence, you'll have quite a collection.
The Canterbury Tales. How's that for a title?
You still haven't said who the winner for the best tale is.
You are all winners. And so, Mary and I would like to invite you all back to our pub, the Tabard Inn, for a pig roast and lots of ale.
of you. You and Mary are the best.
And then we will have to say goodbye. That's bad. I like you. All.
Well, I'll be glad to see the back of some people who have really made me mad on this pilgrimage.
Well, you know what they say. Some things in life are bad. They can really make you mad. Other things just make you swear and curse.
When you're chewing on life's crystal, don't crumble. Give a whistle.
And this will help things turn out for the best. And
always look on the bright side of life. Always look on the bright side of life.
If life seems jolly rotten, there's something you've forgotten.
When you're feeling it dumps, don't be silly chumps.
Choose perseverance and wisdom, that's the thing.
And always look on the bright side of life. Always look on the bright side of life.
For life is concerned,
And that's the final word.
Must always face the curtain with the bow.
Forget about listen, give the audience a grin.
and try to keep your lashes anyhow.
And always look on the bright side of death. Just before you draw your terminal breath. Life's a piece of shit when you look at it. Life's enough and that's a joke, it's true. You'll see it's all a show. Keep on laughing as you go. Just remember that the last laugh is on you. And always look on the bright side of life. Always look on the right side of life. Always look on the right side of life. Always look on the right side of life.
Fellow pilgrims, there is one person among us who we owe a lot of gratitude. Our author and director, God of Theatre, Mr. David Taylor.
It's really strange because here we are in our second decade of theatre projects here, and I've lost the words now. It's actually funny enough. This group is actually the first group that I've worked with in advance of doing the theatre project when they were in the sixth form, and I sort of knew then that they were up for a little bit of fun. So when it came to thinking of what to do this year, some of them had already done as a workshop the original Canterbury Tales. And yeah, I thought they would have some fun. And I must say that we have had a lot of fun. I thank Mr. Chaucer. We did 24 of your tales a few years ago. We've only done 3 this time because Henry and Thomas and Henry you won't find in Chaucer. That was my idea. But I think you will all agree, in the last hour and a half or however long it has been, it's been great fun. There's been a lot of wonderful comedy presented by all of you, and I will have to say this is some very good dramatic moments as well. And so for a group of young people who are not professional actors, I have to say thank you very much, all of you. It's been a fantastic journey, an amazing journey. And the last, my applause.
We also would like to thank our English teachers and our 2 teachers for acting, Mr. Bumfried and Mr. Huema. That's it.
The bow is yours. Take your bow.